Where is the church that knocks my socks off, blows my mind, and takes my breath away?
Turn down for what?
Join the movement. Serveglad.
Hello all, J Monique here, and I just wanted to chat with you just a little bit. I am just back from a visit out west to see a client. Had a great time, but here's something that I picked up that I just thought was so cool. I found a guest book. I was just thinking about doing something like this when all of a sudden I walk into a restaurant. I was having lunch with a friend and I see a guest book. You know, what comes to mind when you think of a guest book, right? First thing is you sign a guest book at a wedding. You sign a guest book at a funeral. You sign a guest book at a baby shower, bridal shower, or some kind of special occasion. What if we could go back to the tradition of having a guest book in our homes? I love the idea. And so I got this guest book. Hopefully you'll get to sign mine and I'll get to sign yours. But I thought that, something that would be really, really cool is that when people come to visit us, we could journal about what that guest experience was really like. How much do you know about that person, or how much you may have thought that you knew about that person, but you didn't know. If it's a stranger, what kinds of things can you remember about them for their next visit? I've been watching the news lately, and one of the things that I've really noticed is that with many of the mass shootings that have occurred in our country, a lot of people who knew these individuals are quick to say, I had no idea. I had no idea that this person was, some have even described them as monsters. And so what can we do to become a little bit more intimately knowledgeable of each other? What can we do to build relationships? Just say, historically, guests were always very, very important. You can read the stories of Abraham and how Abraham welcomed guests. He saw them coming from afar and he prepared for them. You see the story of the Queen of Sheba and how she journeyed for 3 years to go and visit King Solomon's temple. Then there's the prodigal son who saw his son coming into their town from afar and welcomed him. What I'm really saying is that, guest anticipation and guest appreciation go together. We don't know people the way that we used to. I know growing up in rural Mississippi, it was just a tradition in our home that when guests came around, my grandmother had a cake. She had one already on standby, or if she knew they were coming, she'd already baked one. And so there were just some traditions that we had that we prepared for every guest. And so I think that, one small thing that we could do is to go back to some of those traditions of knowing people a little more intimately than we have. This is fine for me personally, and this is something that I'm doing for myself, but I would invite other people to pick up a guest book and start to journal about the guests that come to visit you. If your friends, think of things that you may not have known about your friend that you found out, or things that you might want to ask. It gives you an opportunity to go back and remember what, details of that visit, details of things that they said. We all live in a very busy world, and it's easy to miss something. It's easy to forget. We can discern things, and we can know things deeply and intimately if we are truly present and if we're listening in a very engaging way. Sometimes people come to visit just because they really want you to pick up on something that's going on with them. But if you're doing other things and a lot of busyness is going on, we can miss a golden opportunity. And so I picked up a guest book, and I am going to be writing down writing down notes from guest visits for me, but also inviting my guests to sign this guest book so that I can kind of, keep tabs on what that guest experience was like. Guests are important. Guests are people. Guests are people with heart. And so how are we sharing our hearts with others when they come to visit us? And it doesn't even have to be a person that is a friend. I see that we are living in homes and we don't even know our own children. We don't even know our spouses. We think we do, and then we find out that we don't. We cannot ever allow technology to remove the human experience factor. We will always need human engagement. And so what can we do to come together? I'd like to know more about you. I'm sure you'd love to know more about me.
The Serveglad movement, putting happy back into the church. Who took it out in the first place?
Y'all ready for this? You can't touch this.
Serveglad, the movement.